If you don't know, I'm Aziza, aka Gourmet Pens, and I thought I would do something different today because there has been a giant life change, and you're probably wondering, like, oh, where's all the books? Where's all the inks? They are not here. Well, actually, they are. Most of them are here, but they're not here. So this is going to just be sort of like a ramble where I just update you in case you're curious. So if you're not curious about what's going on, like where everything is, why I'm here, oh my god, then that's cool. We'll see you for the next video, which will probably be pen related, most likely. Very, very likely. And if you are interested, then stick around. I'm not going to talk for too long. I just have a couple notes. What's this? Oh, okay. Just a couple notes of a few things to mention. So this is sort of just like a vlog, I guess. I loathe using that word because I feel really not vloggy. Like, I'm not the kind of vloggy type person. But again, there's quite a few of you have asked what's going on. Where am I? Where are we? And let's be honest, replying to comments on Instagram is a pain because you got like the little typing window and all that stuff. So I thought this would be easier. So hello and welcome to this current update vlog thing. So let's get started. Where is everything? Well, it is in the Toronto area because that's where I have left most of my stuff. Stephen has a job out here in Red Deer, Alberta, so we should be here for like 10 months. It was a pretty big decision because it's a big move to go from Toronto to a small town in Alberta. We were in the GTA, so not Toronto proper, but I got pretty used to it because we were there for over a year. And now we are in Red Deer, Alberta. And I've never lived in Alberta. I have visited several cities here. Edmonton, Calgary, Canmore. I've been to Banff, but many years ago. And it's very different to live here than just pass through. Red Deer is I would consider it a small town between Edmonton and Calgary. It's like 100,000 people. And we're like an hour and a half from Edmonton, an hour and a half to Calgary. It's actually a pretty interesting location. The city itself is smaller than what I'm used to, but everybody is super nice. We are close to big cities like Calgary and Edmonton. The area is beautiful. Like, Canada is a stunning country, in my humble opinion. I'm not biased because I'm Canadian and grew up here or anything, but I do think it's a beautiful area. So I do look forward to exploring more and seeing what the province of Alberta has to offer aside from just cities, because I do like nature and I like animals a lot, and I'm obsessed with, actually, like animals a lot might be an understatement. I'm like moderately obsessed with animals. Like, I get excited even over squirrels and even things like mice and rats, and I know a lot of people hate that, and I like pigeons. So for me, the nature is very interesting. We've got giant magpies to stare at. They're huge birds, and there's ravens and so many birds of prey out here that it's very beautiful. So, yes. So my train of thought stopped. So we are in Red Deer, and we'll be here for a few months. And a few of you have already contacted me from Edmonton and Calgary to let me know that you were there. That's really great. I appreciate that because one of the hardest things about moving is kind of starting over, and I don't really know. We don't know anybody in Red Deer, and we have been in touch now with a few people from Calgary. Hi, Peter and Jack, and a friend who's close to Calgary, Corey, and a couple people from Edmonton. So I look forward to, as well, like developing a new pen community and seeing what is out here, because in Toronto, there's a lot of people in Toronto in the GTA, and we made some really amazing friends and met some outstanding people out there who I miss a lot. So yeah, that's part of the thing with moving, I guess. And I've moved a lot now. Like, I have lived several places, so every time I move I get better at figuring out what I need to do to adapt. Like, when I moved to the Netherlands, it took me like 3 years, and it was only right when we were leaving that I started to figure out how to adjust. And then we moved to Ontario. It took about a year to figure out what I needed, even though I'm Canadian and coming back to Canada was home for me. It was still a new town, like I'd never lived in the Toronto area before, so it was still new. And so that took me about a year, and this time we have moved to Red Deer, and I'm like, you know what? I know what makes me feel at home, and I know what I need, so I need to just get going, like get stuff going that I need. So the pen community is going to be one of the things that I need to work on, like having pen meets and like visiting people who are pen friends. And of course they don't have to be pen friends, but when you move to a new place and you don't know anyone, that is one way you can meet people, is with a common hobby. So we will be going to the Pelican Hub on September 21st in Calgary, and I'm looking forward to that. It's actually, what is it, August 20th. So it's like a month away, so it feels really far. But in the meantime, I will use this time to carry on with life and adjust and all that stuff. So anyway, we're out here in Red Deer. If you are from the area, let me know if you're into pens and stuff. Or, you know, if you're not into pens but you have other hobbies, let me know. That's cool too. And we'll see how things go. So anyway, that is why everything is different. One of the things that happened when we decided to move out here is that I started going through all my stuff, notebooks, pens, inks, like everything. And I was like, okay, I have too much stuff, because we actually packed up our car and drove out here. So everything had to fit into the car. And when you start quantifying your items, like to try and fit it into a trunk and a back seat, you realize that you have a lot of stuff. When we moved from Europe, we actually moved with 4 suitcases, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. So all of our possessions were in 4 suitcases. And even then, like, I'm still thinking I have too much stuff. So you may have noticed that I've listed a whole bunch of pens for sale on sbrybrown.com/for-sale. I'll include a link if you're curious. A lot of these pens are precious pens to me, like pens that have emotional value, that are valuable just because they have interesting nibs, or you can't get them anymore, like limited editions. And I was hanging on to them because I thought I needed them, but then I realized, you know, I don't really use these pens enough, and it's crazy to keep a pen just because I love the color of it or love a nib, but I just never use it. I want to be able to have an amount of pens that doesn't stress me out. That sounds stupid, but having a lot of possessions is stressful for me. So I just don't want to feel that way anymore. So if we have to move again, I want it to be less stressful for me. It took me weeks of going through clothing and like all sorts of nonsense items, like pouches, notebooks, like keychains, like stuff that is not really a big deal if you never move, but if you have to move and decide, do I take this or not, it becomes a big deal. So every time I go out now, if I go shopping, even if I'm like browsing pens online and stuff, I ask myself, if I have to move again, is this something that I need to take with me? Like, is this something that I'm going to want to have, or is it just another item that's going to go into a box, go on the move with me and just stress me out because of how much stuff I have? So that's actually been pretty neat, because I'm finding I have not really bought much because I don't answer yes to that question often. So it has been an interesting journey in that regard, and I'm kind of glad about it, because it's a project for me to work on personally, and I've been very fortunate to be able to borrow pens from companies and use a whole bunch of pens at pen meets from friends, inks, like notebooks, all this sort of stuff. I'm really fortunate to have explored all these things, and I've probably spent way too much money as well, but here we are, figuring that out years later. But I know what I like. I know what paper I like. I know what inks I like and will use. Whether I like the color in a swab is one thing, but whether I'll actually put it into my pens regularly is another thing. And so if you see me using an ink regularly, you will know that I really like that color. I really want that ink. And same thing with my pens. So I guess the point of all of this was to say, I'm working on things. It's a work in progress. Anyway, more different updates, I guess. A bunch of friends, actually Eric and the Funny Farm, have recommended, the Funny Farm knows who they are if they're watching this. They recommended I watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so I watched the entire first season in like 2 days, because that's what you do when someone, a very good friend, very special people, recommend that you watch something, you take their word for it. And I watched it and I thought it was fantastic. So I really enjoyed that. And if you haven't seen it, then you should watch it. And if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it, because I'm curious. I had never even heard of it, so it was very interesting. Today, right now, I have a David's Tea hot chocolate flavored tea because I'm doing the ketogenic diet. I can't have real hot chocolate, and I really like tea. So I thought I would try it out. I got 50 grams. It's got stevia in it, so I'm not crazy about it, but I don't like the flavor of stevia. Like, I don't like aftertaste like that, but I like tea. That's one of the things I'm currently obsessed with. So I have been exploring different teas. I know it doesn't really count if it's flavored tea. I know, like tea purists, I understand. But it was what I had access to here at the mall, and it smelled really good, and I was hungry, and I was craving chocolate, so there we go. It's not horrible, but if it didn't, I would honestly prefer if it didn't have stevia. I don't need the sweet flavor. I would prefer the no aftertaste. Okay, what else do we got here? In case you're wondering, I work at home, so living in a small city where I have just left a larger area with lots of friends and family is taking a bit of an adjusting period, and I love working from home. Like, it's because of my life and the way my brain works and my health and all that stuff. Working from home really works for me in many ways. Gives me some flexibility that I know like a 9 to 5 would not offer me. Like, I get a lot of migraines, so it's kind of hard to function when you have a migraine that's making you throw up 5 times a day. But anyway, I know a lot of people have asked, like, what do? I work from home. So I'm currently trying to deal with like feeling isolated here, and I know what I have to do. Like, I know I need to get out there and do stuff, but it's still a feeling that exists when I move to a new place. So anyway, I'm trying to be very positive about it. I'm trying to look at it as an adventure and doing something different and having an opportunity to experience a different city, different province, different geography of Canada that I would not otherwise have had the opportunity to do had this job opportunity for Stephen not come up. So yeah, anyway, what else do we got? Scriptus. The Toronto Scriptus Pen Show for 2018 is on October 28th, and it's an excellent show. It's held at the Toronto Reference Library, and I would highly recommend that you attend if you can. Last year was really well organized, and I didn't even get to see most of the show because I ended up talking to a bunch of friends and meeting people for the first time or the second time or the third, and it wasn't even about the pens. I didn't even buy a pen. I didn't buy anything because I was there chatting with people, and it was amazing. I got to meet Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary's from the Pen Cup, and we have been in touch for years, and it was just, it's like surreal to meet people in person who you have been in touch with for years and who you connect with over a weird hobby like pens. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also, I get to go home. I'll see some family and friends, and I'm really excited. But anyway, where am I going with all this? What I'm trying to do is work on developing other hobbies because I love writing, but I have really bad tennis elbow in this arm, and because I overcompensate with this arm, it's starting to develop in this arm, and my wrists are kind of like in rough shape. So I'm trying to give them a break. I really enjoy calligraphy, and I attended those 2 calligraphy workshops with Salman, and you can see videos and posts on that kind of stuff on my blog, but I'm looking to do other things as well. So I'm actually gonna go get a yoga mat and try out yoga. I have done yoga in the past, not like super intensely, but I'm looking forward to it. And I really like running. I have really like terrible feet, like they're super flat and just destroyed. And I used to run a lot, and now I can barely walk because of terrible pain, but I'm going to try it out anyway and see how it happens, or see how it works, because I miss it and I enjoy it, and I need to do something that is like outside and not just inside. So while I love writing, I need to get out of the house and like go do stuff, enjoy outside. Yeah, and I think that's, okay, there was one more thing on my list, and that is that I'm currently obsessed with dark chocolate. Because of the ketogenic diet, I cannot eat much sugar or many carbs, and I don't really care for sweetened chocolate. Like, I know there's the Lily's that has no sugar added, but they use, I don't know if it's stevia, but they use something. So I tried to avoid sugars. I would rather have a little bit less chocolate that has higher sugar content than more chocolate that has a whole bunch of stevia in it, just because I don't like the flavor. So I'm exploring dark chocolates. I've got some Lindt 99%, which is definitely dark, and I'm doing like 85%. The lowest I've gone is 70%, and that's just like a splurge, but I really like the 85 is okay. So if you're a chocolate connoisseur, like, let me know what I need to try, because I'm still in the exploration phase, and I would rather eat chocolate than have a meal because it's delicious. And I never used to be obsessed with chocolate, but now I am because of this diet, because I can't really have many other desserts. So I've discovered that I love chocolate now on this diet, and it's very interesting. So that's everything. I'm just gonna stop rambling now. I have tea to finish, I have lunch to finish, and now I have a video to edit. So that's all. Thank you for watching if you stuck around. I don't know if this is like something that interests you. Probably not, and that's okay. It's just a life update in case anybody is curious. And that's all. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, just let me know, just so I have an idea. And please subscribe in general, because I don't always do these things, and I usually do pen videos, and I think everybody prefers those. But I would love if you subscribed. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you in advance, and if you're already subscribed, thanks so much. You can like my video too. That would be awesome. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon as Gourmet Pens. And your support helps me survive and function. So I am very grateful for everyone, all my patrons, and everyone who sends me kind messages and, you know, shops for my affiliate links, all that kind of stuff. It's all this little stuff really adds up, and I'm super grateful for all of your support. So thank you all very much. Now I'm gonna wrap up. I have no idea how long this was. Wow, I've never talked this long to myself, but I did today apparently. So I'm gonna go, and we will see you for the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.